Hello, and welcome to Your Place, where we have a lively and informative chats with highly successful auto dealers and industry consultants about news topics, trends, and other activities influencing automotive retailing. Hi, I'm Dennis McGinn, founder and chief executive officer for vehicle reconditioning and communications company, Rapid Recon. 3 times a month, we visit guests at their place of business, to engage in attention getting content and news shaping your industry. We look forward to visiting your place soon, so let's get into it. David Simches is the director for pre-owned operations for a very successful group in Florida out of Tampa, which is called Crown Cars. And David has a very extensive background in this industry, having been in it for probably the better part of 30 years, if I remember right. And so we've asked David to kind of come out and give us some of the ideas of what's going on in his world these days, in this fast-moving market. Very complicated set of things going on with inventories and prices and OEMs and new cars and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to kind of ask David to just go ahead and throw some thoughts out, we can use here to kind of stir the pot a little bit about what are some of the hot issues that he's dealing with. So, David?
Sure, sure. Dennis, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Nice to be involved. And you're a great partner with, Crown Automotive in our stores. So thank you. Um, you know, it's it's kind of a lot of talk in the news, uh, stuff that's fun and exciting, and shortages and prices, and boy, that's all over the place. But I find just bearing down on the basics is still a pretty good game. So we're just focusing real hard here at Crown to get our reconditioning speed so that we're presenting cars that are 100% ready to deliver, right? If you're not careful, I find that we start showing a lot of cars that are waiting to go in the shop. We start selling them and negotiating through the reconditioning process, and at the end, that's the customer may say they understand when they're buying the car, but when they bring it back 2 weeks later because the tires are bad, they forget that conversation. It's also a big disruption to the flow of reconditioning when you constantly have to bring sold cars back. Oh, I need this one now. I need this one now, right? You're pushing your cars back. So very much just working on that. You know, I call it speed to frontline ready, as opposed to just speed to frontline available. So we're really working on that.
What are some of the things that you think you can do to alleviate some of the some of those problems, in terms of making sure that the cars aren't getting ahead of themselves? And I'm sure this is more difficult with some stores than others, but obviously.
Yeah, you have to work hard on making it a priority, and investing some time. There's been a tech shortage going on in our industry for quite some time, and you throw on top of that what COVID has done with the workforce. You throw that on top of losing 3 or 4 techs in a shop that test positive and have to stay away for 2 weeks. Like you can go down a spiral when you're making it a priority, and you want to keep it top of mind, that people kind of spin out and go into all the reasons why they can't do it in a timely manner, right? And it's like, no, 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 no. We can't control that, but what can we control? I work really hard to make sure that Rapid Recon is not a It's not just ivory tower reporting, or it's not a beat stick, right? It's just we really need to know how long certain steps are taking before we can decide whether or not it's important to drill down and change it, right? Like if a step in reconditioning takes you 2 days, and 2 days seems great for everybody, and it makes sense that it's taking 2 days, then move on to the next step, right? And just keep talking about them. We've set up a series of regular huddles that we have. They're about 15 minutes. Um, um, you know, um, Dan and Julian from your team are usually on the Zoom calls, and then we have the service manager, the parts manager, the service writer, shop foremans, used car manager. We're all together so that we can talk about what's going on, what's working. Is there a glitch in the software that has to be fixed to make things easier? And we just keep it a priority, keep it top of mind.
What, in terms of your time and the things that you feel are most important that you can help the stores? Every store is different. We know that, and every general manager feels they have a different set of problems. So from my perspective, part of the challenge is to have the general managers feel like you're focusing on their individual needs, and not just kind of bringing everybody else's way of doing things to their shop.
So I try to let them know that Rapid doesn't have to be a complete picture of everything they do all day, but we really, let's work on certain key stops.
I also would just maybe another quick comment about what are some of the things that you do that are common between stores where you are trying to compare the performance of different stores and different processes. So that balance between, okay, my problems in my store are different, but what are other people doing that can help me?
We have the step and we have the definition. I find that, really defining the step and making sure everybody knows what the step is really important. It's almost like, if you're in sales and you take for granted and you think that every customer knows what it means to have a Mercedes certified pre-owned car. So when a customer comes in as a salesperson, if you never go over what you get with a certified car and really make sure they understand the definition of it, you're not going to get the full value out of it, right? So we do the same thing with the steps. We have certain steps and they're really clearly defined, so that even if you weren't in the car business, if I told you the name of the step and the definition of it, you would quickly understand what was happening. Okay. And
Yeah.
then we're starting to get into what I think you're going to be helping us with is single step group reporting, right? So the steps are well defined. Okay. That in possession service and how long is it taking before we give the car to a technician, right? And with 20 stores, our times are somewhere between 0.5 of a day, right? So within a half a day of trading a car, it's up on a lift getting inspected, okay? And that's at our best store. And the store that's struggling the most is about 7.5 days, right? So we can see that our photo step, our detail step, right? Those are all steps that everybody has to perform, and well defined. You can really understand what those are.
The group reporting, of course, it's kind of you got to keep working on that to try and normalize it, try and make sure it applies to as many people as possible, as you know. And then I know that you do a lot to translate that on your hands-on work with each of the stores, right? So that they know you understand their particular needs and their processes. So,
Yeah, and the group reporting, the biggest danger with the group reporting is that it becomes something that people are managing the task as opposed to managing for results. So they're purposely moving things around to adjust the group report because they feel like they have to, right? When at the end of the day, if it's taking you 2 weeks, it's taking you 2 weeks. Who cares, right? Like we just need to know how long it's taking. And then, hey, once we acknowledge that we really now are using Rapid and we really feel like these are accurate numbers, it just naturally creates a little bit more awareness, and it naturally, makes it where it stays a priority for everybody. So you just want to make sure on that group reporting level that a group doesn't start managing the task. We want to manage for results, which is getting our cars out faster.
No, it makes a lot of sense. But people in this industry sometimes want to make things look good first. I totally understand that. You know, kind of the behavior part of this. Well, listen, this is really helpful, David. We're going to have a series of these kind of conversations, and I'd like to be able to come back to you uh, again at another time. And thank you, David. Appreciate your time, and we'll be talking to you again in the near future.
Hey, Dennis, thank you very much.